If you're putting in the work to grow your YouTube channel and see the possibilities that might come from it as you grow subscribers and views, thankfully, there are a lot of ways to do that more easily now than even this time last year. And I want to share with you 3 of the programs that I use that are making my approach more simple. And as I've gotten to know how to use them, I'm just grateful for the opportunities they provide and for the time that it saves me. So I figured, hey, I want to bring you up to speed as to what they are too, and find out how you can benefit from it, how you can build your channel, and how you can save some time in the process with it. Hey, I'm Diane. I'm in my mid-50s. I have started this YouTube channel to kind of be able to show some ways that people who are age 40 and over can grow in their influence and hopefully have the opportunity to generate some extra income while doing that. And these days, I am absolutely pressing forward with that goal with a YouTube channel, and I encourage you to do so as well. So let me introduce you to the programs that I'm using. One will help you with graphics and your thumbnails. One will help you with repurposing of taking everything you've created and find different ways to be able to use it. And then one will help you to come up with ideas for what to make your videos about and what to make as far as your titles and things that are going to grab attention in that way and help you to get more views. Of the programs that I talk about today and the software that I use, the one that I think most people will have heard of is Canva. And for good reason. You can do so much with Canva, and there are so many benefits when you have a YouTube channel of creating different sorts of things. Now, you may be aware that there is a paid version and there is a free version of Canva. I personally think that it's worth it for me to have the paid version because I do so much with it. I just encourage you to take some time and try it out. Try it out with a free version first. See if it's something that just feels like it's something you can kind of get a hang of and want to be able to use. And then if there's an opportunity that you want to just see, there's more photos available. There's more functions that are available with the paid version. And there is a link I have down below that will get you 30 days free to be able to try the pro version and just see, maybe compare it to your time with the free time that you would be using Canva as well. So it is definitely a program that takes some time to explore, just see all that's available, and then you can kind of figure out how you want to use it with what you're doing with YouTube. So I will say first that one of the things that I do is to create some charts or lists of something that is going to add what I'm talking about in my YouTube video. And I create that in Canva first. And then by virtue of saving it on my laptop, and I also have the Canva app on my phone, then I open that up, download it from there. So it just goes into straight my photo gallery on my iPhone. And when I am editing using CapCut, then I just put that as an overlay over my video when I'm doing the editing. I can do that with still graphics, with photos, with videos that should be in here that you want to just have some short B-roll with too. And just because I'm editing everything on my iPhone, I keep it simple. I do have a video on that. I'll link that up top if you want to take a look at that at some point, just to talk about my basic editing techniques. But Canva is a big part of that because I can do all that and just shuffle it right to my phone, upload it from there, and then just put it into the CapCut as I am putting the final touches on the videos that I create. But what I want to show you here focuses much more on creating a thumbnail for your video. And I'm not a pro at it, and I'm learning as I go, just like you are, and trying to improve with every one to make my thumbnails a little bit better. And so I'm learning more of how to use the functions that Canva has available to be able to do that. Now, there are lots of templates that you can use that are made available when you just start out. And if you want to use one of these, perfect. You know, it's a great place to start and just use some of the built-in design functions that are there. I personally like to have things a little bit more personalized. So I can sometimes look at these just for some ideas and approaches, and then I just go ahead and start kind of designing things on my own. But the templates are there for you to be able to just really use as a great starting point. And I suggest that if you're getting started with thumbnails, that's a great way to begin. So my general function of this, I just have a blank file here. It is a YouTube thumbnail size. And from there, I have uploaded some photos to be able to use. Now, my process, as dorky as it sounds, is when I am creating a video, at some point during that, I will stop and I'll just do like some poses in front of the camera that I think might be shots of myself that I want to use on my thumbnail. And then I just take a screenshot from one of them and be able to just kind of go from there with it. I am one who believes that having a photo of yourself on your thumbnail is always going to be a plus. I know not everybody feels that way, and maybe not every niche necessarily supports that, but I think just having that connecting function of, look into my eyes while you're scrolling through and make that connection. And it's just a nice human thing. If people have seen me before, they would recognize me, or if it's just a nice human connection to be able to have as your to up your thumbnail game a little bit. If you feel uncomfortable with it, work on it. It doesn't have to be something you start there, but I feel like having a photo of yourself on your thumbnail is a great thing. And so I take some screen captures when I'm doing my videos to be able to support that. So within Canva, I have one that's uploaded here from a recent video that I did. So I'll just show you a little bit of the very simple functions that I do. This will not end up with a great looking thumbnail. I'm just kind of showing you the process here. So I have my screen grab here, and a lot of programs have a background remover, but honestly, the magic I think that's in Canva is the magic grab. So if I hit that, it's going to go through and it's going to show me the various things I could choose to grab. I'm going to grab myself here. So hit that function and give it a couple seconds, and it will turn around and it will sort of just carve my image out of the background. And then I have the opportunity just sort of to drag it around the placement wherever. So, it has all its magic functions, and it figures I've got a chair back here, so it does a little bit of the auto completing of that image, even though it's behind me in the original photograph. But this gives me so much more freedom to just, if I have different placements and I want to use this as a background, I've got plenty of room to move around and have text space there. Or with this, I can blur this more. I can turn it a little bit of a different color, or I can just delete it completely. So I can start with a completely blank template behind my photograph there. And with that, then obviously there's all sorts of, you can use whatever image you want. You can choose a Canva background if you want. I'll just choose something wild there that here I'm sitting in front of. And that's another option and a starting point for me to go with. And then to add whatever headline text, have text, add text box, and I'll choose heading just so you can see a little bit better here. Delete that first one that came through, drag that over, and I will put video title in here. And then obviously you have a lot of ways that you can move that around and change fonts, change sizes, change colors, all that stuff as you work through how you want to personalize your YouTube thumbnail for the style that you want to have. So it's really pretty simple to be able to do, and Canva just has a lot of nice functions to make it an easier task than what you think it might be. So that's a very brief overview of the process of how I use Canva, and I hope it gives you some ideas as to how you can succeed with it too. And I want to thank Nexus Clips for actually serving as the sponsor of this video. And I want to share some of the value that this pretty simple to operate site can provide, especially when you are done with the long form videos that you create. And I know there's a big push to be able to have your content in different social media platforms. So once you have your longer video done, you can use Nexus Clips to do two things. First of all, would be able to help you to find the parts of your long form videos that are going to be good short clips. And once you create them, they can be repurposed and posted as YouTube Shorts. They can be posted as Instagram Reels. They can be posted on TikTok. They can be posted as Facebook Reels, because that's another big content creation thing. It's a big push now that they're paying surprising amount of sums for people to be able to post Facebook Reels. So the idea of repurposing is that you make your video once, and then you have a handy dandy tool like Nexus Clips that helps you to narrow down the parts that might be the best for just those short vertical videos, either on YouTube Shorts or the other programs, that will help you to clip those videos, edit them, add some captions and associated text, and then very easily post them to the other platforms without having to make additional videos. That's the whole idea of what repurposing content is. And boy, it does save a lot of time rather than just creating all those things separately. You're doing all the work of creating the videos, so something like Nexus Clips is a great thing to be able to use to be able to pull out the parts that you want to use for YouTube Shorts and for the other platforms. So let me give you just a very short idea of some of the highlights of Nexus Clips. of how you would go about creating a short form vertical video from a longer video that you've already done. So you can hook your YouTube channel up to it, and that will pull up everything that it has associated. Here's mine here. And I have some that I have chosen to go ahead and do the create clips function from, and that saves some time. So once I hit create clips, that sends it into the brain of Nexus Clips to go through, and then it will, I'll show you, it will give you a score of the things that they think is the highest option for you to have success to be able to have a short video clipped out of. So I've got one here that I've done that with. Once I do that and I hit create clips, it takes a few minutes, especially if it's a longer video, that it goes through that, and then it will actually send you an email that has those clips suggested in it, or you can click back here and see what they are too. So I'll click on one of my, I can see that it has gone through my nearly 18-minute long video, and it's pulling out several clips that are right around between a minute and 2 minutes long generally. So, and then you can see here, it comes up virality index. The higher that number, the greater chance that Nexus Clips thinks that it's going to be able to get a decent amount of views. It cuts it down, obviously, into a decent sized clip that it doesn't go on forever. And it also is a content that just based on all the parameters that are built into it and its AI function, it says, hey, this is a good one to go with. So who am I to argue? So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and create this clip. So now we're into the editing portion of what we're doing with creating our short vertical clip with Nexus Clips. This has been downloaded, and now we get choices first of how we want the vertical clip to be presented. So what we normally see on YouTube Shorts, or especially TikTok, is a full screen with just the one face in it and so forth. However, if you do horizontal long form videos that would include probably, let's say, an interview where you have like a couple people on a call and you are having a conversation with it. The nice thing about Nexus Clips is it gives you the option to be able to have all these people on the screen at once. You can go up to a quadruple screen, so that you can always see the faces of everybody who would be on that horizontal long form screen, but they're just built perfectly into the function within Nexus Clips to be able to see everybody at one time. So you have up to 4, you can go down to 2, and then you can obviously just have the single. So this is what I think a typical choice is. Lately, I've been kind of getting into this one where it's not as much of me on the screen. So you have, here's the actual editing function within Nexus Clips, and then what you see over here to the right is what what the end product will be as you're creating. So I just sort of like choose the format and the space that I want on there. And for this, with this one-to-one action here, then I have space down at the bottom. Now, especially with TikTok and with YouTube Shorts as well, remember that you have a lot of caption space that's taken up on phone screens when people are looking at that. So this is pretty much dead space anyway. So it's a nice visual reminder that you don't really want to do a whole lot in there, because it's going to be covered up by the caption that is just automatically put in via the platform that you're looking at it as. So then I have the option to go ahead and add subtitles and captions and so forth too. So the nice thing here, and Nexus Clips just does this so well, that it is going ahead and it is transcribing the words that I have in my video, and then I can choose where I want them to be. And you can choose colors and borders and font choices, all sorts of different fonts as to what is really just going to go well with the style that you want to present, and make it bigger, smaller, and anything you want to do with that too. So if you want to go ahead and put in your channel name somewhere, you have that option to do that too. For TikTok, for any of these things that would automatically go in, and then you can go ahead and edit that too. So just a nice basic program to be able to create from what you've already created with the horizontal, and then have a whole bunch of different options. And again, like all the ones that I'm talking about here, just taking some time to play around and see what fits with your personal style of what you want to do and what you feel comfortable in using the program to create. Nexus Clips gives you so many different options to be able to create exactly what you want, to save so much time with all the videos you've already created, to just pull out those individual clips that serve as the vertical videos for YouTube Shorts and any of the other platforms. Because as you're growing and you're posting on Instagram and you're alluding to what you're talking about on your YouTube channel, you're getting in front of different eyeballs with these vertical videos on other platforms that can ultimately drive them back to your YouTube channel to get more traffic that way. And the folks at Nexus Clips were kind enough to give me a discount link. So if you want to try out Nexus Clips, you can do so at 10% off the price. You can use my link that's down in the video description. Now I want to show you a program that I've only been using like maybe for the last month or so, but am finding it just to really be a great way to come up with ideas for titles, mainly because I can see ones that are working perhaps in niches that are close to mine or working in ones that are wildly different, but give me some good ideas that I could somehow make that work for what I want to be able to do too. And this is called oneof10.com. Again, this is a paid software usage, so if you are generating any money from your YouTube channel, this is a great reinvestment to be able to just come up with some ideas for videos that might have a little bit higher likelihood of getting some more views because you can prove that it's something that YouTube has already been pushing out for other people. So let me give you just a little bit of an overview of how it works here. So you can put your own niche in, you can put whatever niche in, but generally just in the generic sense of all outliers. And outliers is a term that I think we're hearing thrown around more on YouTube these days. And that means that that is a video that has performed quite a bit better than others on that channel and maybe even others in that same niche. But for this purpose, it's an outlier that it is maybe done really far better than a lot of the ones that are on that channel. And you see a score that's associated with these. So like this one is an 8.6 outlier because from, I believe it's the 5 videos before that shows up on that channel and the 5 videos after, it performed 8.6 times better than the rest of those videos. So the higher the number, the more success that it had compared to all the rest that are on the channel that it is part of. So you can see the channel name, you can see the number of subscriptions that are with it, and you can see the comparison of the number of views that this outlier video got compared to the average that also exists on that channel. And then you can also see the amount of time that has passed since that video was first posted. So when you can see that these specific titles jump out, it's always YouTube. Again, I talk about this in other videos too, because it seems counterproductive to what creative types like us as content creators and video creators might think that, oh, the most creative thing I can do and the most out of the box thinking is probably going to be good. And YouTube really doesn't think that way at all. It wants to see the things that it has the likelihood of success. And then once you kind of get into that mode of following something that succeeded before, you tend to have a better chance that you're going to be able to have yours see success too, because that's just kind of the way that the YouTube algorithm operates. So if that hurts your creative heart and, I just want to do my own thing, great, you always have that freedom. But if you are intent on wanting to have your YouTube channel grow, it's just part of the life here within the YouTube culture. And I think I'm getting used to it too and understanding a little bit more how that is. And a program like oneof10.com does help to be able to accomplish those things. So you can put in your specific topic. So once again, let me pick a topic that I really don't know anything about. So I will choose something like raised bed gardening. So you can see all of these videos that come up for that specific topic. See what the titles are. See what the percentage is of how it did better than even a lot of the others that ended up on that channel. And the ones that do really well, get the juices flowing as to what you can do to sort of replicate that success. So we have one here that's easier way to garden. Well, let me get one here. How to build raised garden beds. So you can see how they approach their thumbnail with that, and then you can see it's just a very simple title, but it is something that obviously grabbed attention. Now, I will say 3 years ago isn't something that maybe you should base yourself on. And it is nice that you have a lot of filter choices up here too, that you can sort of, tell the ones to leave out the stuff that you're really not interested in. So your multiplier thing, I wouldn't go too high on it. Even it says over 2.0 might be too much because you might really kind of take yourself away from some good ideas that would come. And I usually just lower it a tad. I don't care about things that have a billion views because I will probably never be in that world. So I skewed it down more to like realistic ones that might show up that go along with what I'm doing. I do the same thing with subscribers. And then the video duration, I don't care about 7 hour long videos, but I do care about ones that get down to like the 40-minute mark or something like that. So anything in between there. And then what I do definitely change is you have this all time option here and stuff that is honestly more than like 6 months even, but you can choose up to the last year. And that's what I do generally choose is last year. That anything that's older than that, YouTube has changed and evolved and done things since then that some of those things really aren't as valid anymore, but you can just take a look to get more ideas if you want with that. I generally change it to the last year, but also keep in mind that I probably won't pay a whole lot of attention to things that are more than 6 months old. As far as just coming up with video ideas and then what are probably going to be more popular type of titles that go along with it, oneof10.com is a great tool to be able to use. And again, this is something that I think you just mess around with. You can create little just storage functions on this. So if you find things you want, you just store them in folders that you create. And then when you just need inspiration, you go back and look through them, or always just be doing like some new searches just to see what is coming up and what is getting traction in the ideas that you want to pursue. All right, so has that given you some ideas? Has that given you some ways of, wow, I used to do this and this seems like it would be so much simpler to do it this way? I hope so, because that's the way I felt about all three of those things with Canva, with Nexus Clips, and with One of 10. So I encourage you to give them a try. If you are using other programs that are making your life easier in the YouTube content creation world, hey, let me know what they are in the comments. I'd love to get some more ideas too. And as always, I am here cheering you on for your growth and for your constant improvement and working on improving and getting a little better with every video that you post so that our channels can grow together. If just being on camera is one of the hardest parts of YouTube for you, hey, check this video out. I cover some of the things that we can just feel the most naturally awkward about when we're sitting here talking to the back of our phone or talking to a camera, and how we just get more comfortable in that process as time goes on and as we continue to make videos. I think it can help.